guys, go for it.
Great. I mean, I think that the fact that Kim, she does such a good job of bringing the best out of people, actually. She has that effect on me. She has that effect on the people of the state. Look at how successful she's been as a governor. So I think that's a great setup to actually have those of us who are in my shoes, presidential candidates, to come out of, nobody wants to hear a canned speech for the 6th time. I want to have an honest, open, and authentic conversation. And so I had a lot of fun. It went right by. I mean, I was really moved by the audience's response as well. It means a lot to me to see that we're having such a positive impact on people. That's what gives me the energy to run this campaign from 7 a.m. to midnight with the same vigor that we will lead from the White House.
Yeah, and you're running against a lot of political veterans. Why do you feel like you're the right person for the Republican nomination, Vivek?
Because I think it's important that we not have a political veteran in the White House. I use an analogy. If somebody broke your car, you don't turn the keys back over to them to fix it, okay? I think it might just take a new generation to reach the next generation. I'm from outside government. I'm going in to shut down the bureaucracy in the federal government. That's what I've been doing my entire career, taking on bureaucracies, succeeding, building multi-billion-dollar companies in the process. But now I want to take on the biggest bureaucracy of all, that's the DC bureaucracy. And I do not think a career politician, many of whom are unfortunately compromised by the super PAC class. They become super PAC puppets. I'm not. I'm a patriot who speaks the truth. I've put in immense amounts of my own hard-earned money precisely to avoid being somebody else's puppet. But that's what puts me in a position to actually go in there and do what many professional politicians talk about. We're going to go in there and get it done. I also won't be bashing my other individual candidates in this race. I view them as colleagues, really, not competitors, but as colleagues in this national revival. But when it comes to who occupies the seat of the chief executive, we need an outsider, and I think an outsider with fresh legs from a different generation.
Yeah. And one thing that you've talked a lot about is, having public duty, serving that in terms of voting age. And you've been outspoken about raising the voting age to 25 years old, I believe, in the past. Why do you feel like that's the right thing to do?
Well, I think the right thing to do is actually, let's begin with exactly where I'm at. I think every high school student who graduates from high school should be able to pass the same civics test that every immigrant has to pass in order to become a citizen of this nation. You got to know something about a country in order to be part of it. Tests aren't for everybody, fine. Then at least serve the country in some minimal way, military or a first responder role. So we have to revive that sense of civic duty. And I just want to start with the next generation with a clean slate to actually do it.
And one of the biggest, issues that our country is dealing with, abortion rights, federal versus state. Where do you stand on that, Vivek?
I think this is an issue for the states. I do not think the federal government should be involved, and that's why I was a longtime opponent of Roe. I think that Roe was wrongly decided. Dobbs correctly overturned it. I am unapologetically pro-life. I was here in Iowa the day the legislature adopted the 6-week law, and I was proud to be here. I made it a point to be here. I wasn't supposed to be. I made it a point to be here to draw national attention to it. That's federalism in action. That is state success in action, in my opinion. But that should be done bottom up by the states, not one way or another top down by the federal government. I also predict that more babies will die if the federal government does get involved, because if Republicans overreach now, Democrats will come back and overreach later. And I think this is best left. I'm a 10th Amendment absolutist. I believe in the Constitution. This is an issue for the people.
One of the last things I want to ask you, you're giving back 10% commission to people who are helping you with your fundraiser. Do you feel like that's an ethical thing to do?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. That is the way the entire political system already works. So that is exactly how everybody raises money. The joke in politics is it's only a small group of people that get to do it. The big money people in Palm Beach or New York or San Francisco or Silicon Valley that'll put together fundraisers and they get to keep 10% of what they raise as bundlers. Well, you know what I said? If it's 10% for the big guys, let it be 10% for the little guys. Anybody who wants to lift this campaign up can do it. Just to be really clear, we had over 65,000 unique donors even before we launched that. So for me, it was a way of calling a bluff on a political cartel that actually already has been doing this for years. People making insane amounts of money off of politics as an industry, that irritated the heck out of me. And my whole career, I told you, is about tearing down bureaucracies. The political consultant class didn't love me for doing it, but I called their bluff. That's what this was about.
Last thing I'm going to ask you, where do you stand on Trump's indictments right now?
I'm dead set against the politicization of the federal police state. That's exactly what we've seen. They are wrong. And I've said that I will pardon him on day one when I'm in office. I expect to be in office. I want to move us forward as a nation. I do not want to see us become a banana republic where the party in power, whoever it is, uses police force to eliminate its political opponents. That's not the United States of America. And I say this as somebody who's running third, second now against Donald Trump in this primary. It would be easier for me, let's be really honest, if he were eliminated from competition. That's not how I want to win. That's not right. That's not how we do things in the United States. And so I stand on the side of principle.
Perfect. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.